My husband admitted to baby trapping me in the worst way you can imagine. I think I'm gonna stay even after what he's doing to me now. I've always had my suspicions, but hearing him actually say it out loud was jarring to hear.
Oh God, what is it? What is it?
He told me that on the night we conceived our oldest, he got me really, really drunk while he stayed sober.
What the heck?
When I was too drunk to even remember what happened, he did it without a condom. Again, I don't even remember this happening. I thought that I got pregnant the day after because he said that protection actually broke while we were doing it. I asked him why he felt the need to do that, and he said that he needed to get me pregnant because he was scared that I was going to party and leave him and live my life when I turned 21. He didn't want me to turn into a salute.
That was at 20? Oh my God.
Now we have 3 kids. This was 10 years ago. While I don't necessarily regret my kids, I feel like my right to choose was taken away.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I wanted to terminate with our second child for mental health reasons. He still mocks me about it to this day and even told our oldest daughter that I almost terminated her sister.
What the
Why would you ever say that to your own child?
I hate this guy.
With that, he guilted me out of getting one. I regret not having a carefree time in my entire adult life. When I got pregnant, I was only 20 and my husband was 26. So he already got to experience his whole fun college experience. Those would be my main regrets. My kids are all amazing, smart, and lovely humans. I have spent the entirety of my 20s making sure that they're well balanced and that they have a great childhood. However, I feel like I never got to be me. I still don't know who I am. I had to grow up with my kids, and that's not an easy thing to do.
Wow.
But Sam, there is an update here. First of all, we were separated for a long time. I lived with my parents for a year. I met a new man at my job.
Good.
There we go. He quit, but I ended up working there for way long after he found a new job. We'll call him A. He was my age, he was single, and I could tell he liked me a lot, but he was scared to deal with 3 kids. He was hesitant. I get it, so I didn't force anything. But he texted me every day for a full year.
Oh, wow.
We didn't do anything for a full year after we met each other. We eventually made love, and it was mind-blowing.
Damn.
I love hearing that. OP, my goodness, you deserve it. I knew he liked me, obviously. Long story short, my ex, now the kid's father, figured out that I was with this new sexy man that liked me. He could just tell. I can't explain how he knew. Out of nowhere, my ex joined Tinder and found a new woman to take on a Disney cruise with the kids.
I don't necessarily take issue with him finding someone on Tinder, but to take the kids with your new Tinder date seems kind of weird.
I said, hell no. I was not okay with that. He said the only way I would drop her is if I went with them. We never went on fancy vacations as a family when we were together, but now he conveniently has the money. I told him that I was so angry about him taking this random woman on an international trip with our 3 kids. He said, well, you have a passport. You can come with us. If not you, she's coming.
He's literally using this person as a chess piece, as a pawn.
But I am a mama bear, so I had to come along. My new guy was so upset, he blocked me, unfortunately.
Oh, what?
I regret it so much. I miss him every single day. I love him. I'm still obsessed with him. I just ended up moving back in with their dad. I know he hates me. He's still upset that I made love with A. He refuses to make love with me. That's my own fault, though. Nowadays, I'm in a very sexless relationship.
OP, you got to get out of this thing.
We get along somewhat. We can have fun conversations, but I know he doesn't like me. He won't let me go. He spends every second away from the house that he possibly can. He will not let me go. I effed up my life. Thanks for reading, if you did. My goodness, this one was definitely a tough one.
I'm almost thinking like the best course of action would have just been to let the husband go on this cruise with their kids.
Yeah.
And then file for divorce and try to get custody. It sounds like this guy would use the kids as pawns too. We want to know what you guys would do. What should OP do? I think she needs some
Share
advice.
your advice for sure.
Put it in the comments, but that was a doozy.
I refuse to let my husband be in the delivery room for our first child. What he did to me was way worse.
You gotta do something really bad to be like, honey, it's It's a boy. What did you say?
I, 23 female, and my husband, 24 male, just had our first baby. My husband was so excited and super supportive and caring throughout the pregnancy. The only thing is that he became slightly obsessed with watching YouTube and TikTok videos of husbands pulling pranks on their wives while in labor.
Like your most vulnerable moment, and you're just like putting a whoopee cushion under. Like,
now, I clearly stated my distaste for these videos and asked him not to do anything like what he saw. He agreed and continued to joke about it from time to time, but I brushed it off since I trusted him and thought nothing would come of it.
First mistake, trusting another human being.
The day of the delivery came, and I had been in labor for 8 hours, 12 hours of total labor.
Is that a long time or a small time?
I feel like that's, I would guess, mid-range. Let us know how long you were in labor for. I'm actually
very curious.
So I had just finished another round of contractions when my husband lets out the loudest fart.
Oh, dude, we called it.
We called it. He turns to me and says, "What the hell have you been eating, OP? It smells disgusting."
Holy shit, how did we call this?
You literally called it. Wow.
I was making a joke. I didn't know he was going to be that much of an twat.
I immediately recognized that as one of the prank videos.
Disgusting!
Outraged at him not honoring what I asked him not to do, I demanded that he leave the delivery room now. He started arguing, saying that it was just a joke, but I insisted that he leave, and luckily the nurse helped him get out. So yeah, the nurse was like, "Nah, bro. You're out, bro." That's so funny. I went through the last 4 hours of labor by myself since my family lives out of state and I'm not close to my mother-in-law. After the delivery, I told the nurse that he could come back in the room, and he was fuming. He started demanding that I tell him why I kicked him out, and I calmly told him the reason.
She said she didn't want any pranks.
Literally.
She was very clear about it.
And he agreed. My husband hasn't talked to me in a week, and his mom is still taking his side, saying that I was a complete for kicking him out. Normally, he would defend me from her, but at this time, he completely agreed with her. I might be the asshole because I know how much he was looking forward for being there for the birth of our first kid, and especially when he got to cut the cord, but I still kicked him out and refused to let him back in. The nurse asked a few times if I wanted to bring back in, but each time I said no. So am I the a-hole for kicking out my husband after a stupid prank that he agreed to do? Now, there is a quick update, Sam, but as of right now, a-hole or not?
I think farting at the delivery room, bad taste for sure. But I feel like the punishment should have been like get out for like 15 minutes or like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then bring him back in.
Look, I kicked you out once. Don't pull anything, right?
Yeah. Which she shouldn't have to do. She's in fucking labor.
She shouldn't. Now, it's been a rough week for me, but thankfully, my mother arrived this morning to help out. I talked to my husband as best I could since he is still upset and ignoring me, and told him how I was feeling. I've been feeling depressed and anxious since we brought the baby home, and I understand why he is upset, but asked him to please see my side. He told me that I had no right to kick him out and that our daughter would come to hate me one day for having him miss her birth.
I think that's not true.
Well,
I think that's more his thing. Like he wanted to be there.
I started crying and begged him to please talk things through instead of saying things out of anger. He refused and said I was under his roof and he had the final say and called me a punt for kicking him out of the delivery room. I didn't say anything else to him. I just started packing myself and the baby's things, and I planned on leaving. He yelled at me, telling me that I couldn't take anything he's paid for. I haven't worked since the beginning of the pandemic. I just took my baby and I told my mom we were leaving. We're staying at a hotel and we will drive to my parents' house tomorrow. Sorry for the long update, but I wanted everyone to know the outcome.
Dude.
Okay, so now I want to know what you all think. How are you feeling now?
I understand why he's mad, but I feel like his reaction to it is kind of telling.
The red flags. Imagine their marriage ended over a fart.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is, it's never just the fart.
It's never just the fart. Exactly.
It's everything behind the fart.
It's everything in the intestines.
It's everything in the intestines.
Before the flatulation ever gapes through the through
and
the
it's
a-hole.
like, you know, it's what you're eating, what you're taking in.
Wow.
You know, it's like
what a metaphor.
What a metaphor. Yeah. And then the way it stirs in your stomach, like
the digestion.
There's a lot more wrong in this relationship than
just a fart,
than meets the asshole. And I would say husband, major a-hole.
Yep. I think assuming that there's more beneath the surface, which it very much seems like there is, you can wipe her of the a-hole.
Yeah, you can absolve her of her a-hole sins.
I'm suspicious of my husband and his female coworker. Should I be worried?
Yes.
I, 25 female, found out that my husband, 29 male, has a female coworker, 26 female.
Oh my.
And I found out that he's worked with her for months when our mutual friend brought it up while at our house.
How dare you work with another woman?
Excuse me?
I bet you sniff her air too.
Disgusting. I didn't think much of it at the time, just surprised that he never brought it up. Later that evening, I asked about her, and he was very vague and said, all the girls who work there are lesbians. So
threesome.
I said, that's not what I was asking, and was just curious why he never brought her up.
Babe, they're lesbians, I swear.
I'll put my hand on the Bible. I swear. He said it never came up. So I asked to see her and went to my Facebook to look her up when he sat up and said, oh, I'll look her up. I'll look her up.
This is so suspicious.
Which I didn't pay attention to at the time, but it's important to note for the rest of the story, I guess. I looked at her profile and saw that she was in a relationship with a man.
So not a lesbian. Huh.
And he then proceeded to tell me that she recently got divorced and has 2 kids, etc.
How do you know so much about her, huh?
I said, so you knew that she wasn't a lesbian. Why would you say that? Also, while looking at her profile and speaking with him, he started to breathe. I swear it's nothing. Like he had just run a marathon, but we were just sitting on the couch. I asked if he was okay because he seems really nervous about something. He said I was frustrating him, but he's never acted like that before when he was frustrated.
You're frustrating me. Stop exposing me for cheating. Just let me cheat in peace.
God. He also told me about how they spoke of me, and she even asked her boyfriend about me. He's someone I went to school with, but she just never came up when he was speaking with me.
Yeah, they're talking about her. It's like, hey, so like, is your wife going to be home when we're fucking?
Yeah. A few days later, I still felt like he was hiding something. So after a little digging, I found out that they were Facebook friends at one point.
Facebook friends with benefits, huh?
Dude, you can never trust him.
Never trust him. Literally don't trust your partner ever. There's actually a really easy way to check if your partner is cheating.
Oh, yeah?
Break up with them.
I found out they were Facebook friends, and that's when he finally confessed to her sending him a Facebook request, to which he accepted, but deleted her right before showing me her profile.
That is super suspicious. Like, who cares about them being Facebook friends? But the fact that he deleted it before he showed her, super suspicious. There's nothing to be suspicious of. I swear.
You're just frustrating me.
I'm just flustered.
He said that was why he was acting funny.
Oh, yeah, that's why.
But it was days of me asking him to just be honest and feeling like he was hiding something before I finally took it into my own hands.
Oh, what is OP doing?
Here we go. I even sat him down and said, I know you're hiding something. Please just be honest with me. And he said, there's nothing, babe. I'm not hiding nothing.
Yo, I feel like he's hiding something. I'm no Sherlock, but
discombobulate. So as you can see, my trust was broken. I'm having a really hard time forgiving him and forgetting about it. He was acting like a cheating husband. He said he deleted her because he knew it would upset me. I asked why he would accept it in the first place if he thought it would upset me, and he just said, I don't know.
I don't know, babe.
I don't know. I know statistically men are more likely to cheat when women are postpartum.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Did not know that either. If there's a life change and or financial issues, and we currently have the trifecta right now.
Yikes,
oh, man.
Bro.
Yikes. That doesn't sound too fun. I'm sorry.
Usually,
OP.
I feel like whenever you have a new kid, that kind of like encompasses all three: big change, postpartum, and financial stress because you're having to spend. Yeah, exactly.
Totally. Yikes.
So, in conclusion, if you want to keep your relationship, don't have kids.
I just can't seem to get it out of my head that there's something going on that he's not telling me. His main argument is, when would I have time to cheat on you, babe?
I don't know. When would you?
That's reassuring.
Maybe at work? With the woman you work with?
He's also made a few comments lately about my postpartum body that he says are jokes, or, I didn't mean it that way, babe.
Yeah, I'm just saying you look fat.
I'm just saying you look like a disgusting whale, babe. Yeah. It's like a hilarious joke.
I just wish you looked more like Whitney from work. Oh my God, what a babe. Not that I'm like hooking up with her or anything.
But all of that would be a post in and of itself. Any advice? I keep asking him if there's more, but I don't believe him when he says no, because that's what I said the first time. Also to note, she recently broke broke up with her boyfriend. And when I brought it up, he was smiling and said, "Oh, she did."
Dude, this guy is the most sus dude on the planet.
He is just really bad at lying. I said, "Why are you smiling like that?" And he said, "It's because I give him a hard time and it's funny." Wowzers. Well, ladies and gentlemen, is the boyfriend cheating?
Because if he is, I mean,
Yeah.
like, regardless of whether he's cheating or not, boyfriend's still kind of an asshole. Like the whole,
Yes.
the whole postpartum body thing,
No.
the whole lying about the Facebook stuff. Like even if he's not cheating, he's acting super suspicious.
Yep.
Definitely hiding something.
Yeah.
And just general assholiness.
Definitely.
So my thought is, yeah, I don't know why you're married to this guy in the first place. It
Yeah.
sounds like a kind of D-bag. There's a lot of dudes in the sea, a lot of seamen in the seashore. So
That's
like,
right.
I feel like there's got to be someone better than this.
Yeah,
dunce
I can
cap
see
of a
why
man.
it's hard. Like, maybe she's just now like
Realizing
just
it.
starting to.
Yeah, it's like
get
you
to
once you
that
have the baby,
place.
you're like, holy shit.
Oh man, that is so tough. That is so sad. I feel for you, OP. I really do.
I think he's definitely hiding something. I don't know necessarily if he's cheating, but
Yeah.
most signs point towards something.
It could also, to be devil's advocate, it could also be the case of like, we hear the one side of the story and it's
Yeah.
like she might be embellishing certain things because of her own.
Maybe.
But if what we read is almost exactly how it happened, then it seems super fishy. Super
The
fishy.
fishiest thing is the whole Facebook friend request stuff.
Yeah.
That's like some semi damage.
Also, my favorite thing is asking, "Are you cheating on me?" And he's like, "Babe, when would I even have the time?" Like,
I'm at work all the time. I'm literally working from like 8 a.m. to 10 p.m.
it's crazy.
It's crazy. I have to work such late nights with
Yeah.
Whitney.
You would hope he'd be like, "Oh no, I love you. Why would I?"
No.
It's like, no, I
it's
don't
not
have
that I
enough
love
time.
you. It's just I don't have time to. If I had time,
If
I
I
would
could-
cheat.
I
I swear.
babe, I'm about to buy the 4-hour work week, and
Yeah.
I am literally going to.
I'm gonna be running through broads.
Oh my
like
god,
freaking
I'm gonna
calendar
have
days.
7 wives.
7 wives, bro. I'm gonna pick up a
4
wife
hours
for
a week
each day of a week.
My goodness gracious.
Man is gonna become the Tim Ferriss of infidelity.
Yes. I love it.
Well, let us know what you think. Put it in the comments below. We love you. We miss you. And we want you to be our baby mamas and baby daddies.
My daughter wants 5 figures for her IVF treatment so she can have a baby. I said no. I'm giving it to my stepdaughter. Am I the a-hole?
What are all these demands for IVF? Like just
Excuse me? Sam, I want a baby.
why can't you just do it the old fashioned way and then just like steal it from a nursery or like
Straight Rumpelstiltskin, that bad
or
boy.
just steal a baby.
I am a father of 2. Biological daughter is 26 and my stepdaughter is 18. I'm lucky to have established a good relationship with my stepdaughter that is based on mutual trust and respect. Very nice. I raised her when she was 2. I don't even call her my stepdaughter. I call her my own. She's always dreamed of owning a car and hinted about wanting a car for her 18th birthday for years, so I took it upon myself to try and save up for one. It took me years to save up to be able to get her a decent car as a gift, and I felt thrilled I was able to achieve this goal knowing how much it means to her. I haven't bought the car just yet, and I'm currently looking for a decent car around $10,000 to $13,000. My oldest daughter has been struggling with infertility, and she and her husband already tried the clinical route but weren't successful. They've stopped trying for a year due to financial struggles. I visited her last week, and she talked about how she's getting ready to go through another round of IVF.
IVF sounds so rough and so expensive.
We talked about the money, and she brought up the money that I was saving for her stepsister's car. I tried cutting into the conversation, but she asked if she could borrow the money and she'll repay it in a few months. I said no, because what's the use of getting money in a few months when I want to buy my stepdaughter her car?
Step car.
Step car? That's not where the gas goes. Her husband pointed out how his parents helped with the previous treatment costs, and now it's my turn since we're family. So he said my stepsister can get a car anytime later, but logically, the money should go towards a better case. I declined, saying that it's her last birthday with family before she moves away for college, and I didn't want to disappoint her. My daughter said that she wasn't asking for a fancy new car, she just longs to become a mother. In all honesty, I stated even if I gave her the money, there's no guarantee the treatment will work this time. Her husband said I had my priorities messed up, asking who in their right mind sees their child struggle with such a massive issue and refuses to help, and then prioritizes a car car over a potential grandbaby that every sane grandparent dreams of having. I asked, why isn't someone else besides his parents helping? And my daughter said that they already asked others for money, but are struggling with debt with her medication.
So in what world do you think, if she's already in debt, how will she be able to pay OP back? You're not asking for a loan. You're asking for the money outright.
For the money. Yeah. I said, even if the treatment pays off, then what? Did she really think having a baby while struggling with debts was a good idea? She got quiet and her husband asked if I could leave, and he won't call me selfish since I already know that's why I kept getting defensive. I left without further arguing, and my sister had a fight with my wife and argued with me saying that I got carried away in spoiling my stepdaughter to please her mom and neglected my blood daughter and made light of her struggles. She kept insisting that I do the right thing, but I was mad that my daughter told her. Even more upset that my son-in-law wanted to talk to my stepdaughter about it and spoil the surprise. I'd like to add that I'm not on good terms with my daughter's in-laws because of how they are in general, especially her mother-in-law, but I tried to stay civil. Still, she insisted on insulting my wife. My wife no longer wants to be around this woman, and it's understandable, but we're getting a lot of heat from my son-in-law for how we're reacting. I'm seeing a number of people asking why my daughter and her husband need the money now since they're young and can save up on their own. I'm not sure about that answer, but it seems to me that my daughter is getting pressured by her husband and his family, and adoption is off the table due to their mentality. My son-in-law is 33 years old, and he also has a medical condition to manage. Okay, there's a lot going on here. I would love to know what everyone thinks right now. Speak your mind. Let us know if you think OP is the a-hole. And then also, I mean, we've seen so many IVF stories or like infertility stories. We would love to hear your own infertility and IVF and other stories, either in the YouTube comments or even better on r/OKOP show, because we want to take some and invite you on the show. Sam, what do you think?
Is OP the a-hole? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I do think that there are many parents, if they had the financial means, that would want their children to be able to have children.
Totally.
So like, I don't think it's an unreasonable thing to ask your parent. But if they say no, they say no.
What can you do?
They say no, they say no. I don't think OP's the a-hole. Especially it's like OP's daughter is not asking for a loan. She's asking for the money outright.
100%. I think they're deluding themselves into thinking they're asking for a loan, but in reality, they're not.
They're not asking for a loan. Yeah, I don't know. Like, what is the best course of action here? If I was OP, it might be an a-hole move to actually say, hey, daughter, I'm going to give you a car, but if you want the car over helping your sister.
Right? It puts her in a precarious situation too, because you're like, I don't want to seem like a jerk, like for picking a car over niece, essentially.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you want a car or do you want a niece?
That's really tough. I'm going to say OP should put it in the daughter's hands.
I would probably still go through with the surprise, and then maybe later down the line be like, I would tell my daughter and son-in-law, like, listen, I saved up this money. This is the plan I had for it. And like, if I had all the money in the world, I would in a second give it to you for the IVF. But like at the end of the day, this is what I was able to do over years of saving. And like, this is something I want to do.
I would be curious to hear if the daughter ever got some kind of like financial help for a car or a house or anything like that.
Or some sort of like equivalent gesture, even if it wasn't the same amount of money. Maybe back in the day, he was like financially worse off. And it's like, okay, I could only save up this, but here's like $3,000 for your high school graduation.
I would love to know if there was anything like that, because if there wasn't, then it's kind of like
favoritism.
It feels like a little bit of favoritism.
Yeah. I think the son-in-law and daughter are the a-hole for pushing him so hard.
Yeah. Especially if it doesn't seem like he has like, a ton
100%
of money to spend. But let us know what you think. Boss wants me to print the internet? Fine. I'll use all your company's resources and destroy your career.
I feel like that might be a lot of ink cartridges, Sam.
It might be, but you know what they say? If you inked up, you're going to get. This is about a decade ago, but still well within the realm of the internet. I was a technical writer for the government and had slowly been transferring our old employee handbook, think government bureaucracy from the 1940s, into a modern and actually useful document. Think one page with our policies and links to useful websites like Office or Personal Management, Form for Workman's Comp, etc. My boss wanted the whole thing printed out on our desk by the next morning. This was Monday of Thanksgiving weekend. I printed out 200 pages or so and just had links to the various websites in bold. This took about an hour, and I left it on her desk before going home that night. She calls me in her office on Tuesday afternoon and proceeds to yell at me about how stupid I am. Do I think people can just go to a website when it is on paper?
You freaking idiot.
Yeah, dummy.
You can't
I
click
need
a
to
page.
print everything out.
Come on.
I calmly tell her that these sites are pretty dense and deep, and it would be about 10,000 pages. She says she doesn't care, and it needs to be on her desk, goddamn it, first thing Monday morning.
Oh my God.
Mind you, this is now Tuesday, and we usually had some of Wednesday off. I was not really planning to work Thursday, Thanksgiving, or Friday, and I had applied for leave and was looking forward to a nice, relaxing, long weekend. I don't have family, but I had plans. But okay, I asked for and got the request to have everything pertaining to the employee handbook online in a printed format. So that's like 10,000 pages.
Bro.
I also had real work and real deadlines. A quick bit of context. She was my boss. She did my performance appraisals, and she could make my life miserable and possibly fire me. However, my clients were teams that put together engineering plans, biological assessments, scientific journals, articles, reports to Congress that had real world deadlines. On some of these, if you missed the publication date, your agency paid $100,000 a day in delay fees.
Ouch.
So a little steep.
But, you know, we need to print these 10,000 links ASAP.
1,000 random pieces of the internet. I was printing and printing all the rest of Tuesday afternoon, and then Wednesday I had to go to the site, print, click to the next link, print, etc. On Wednesday we got a letter from a Congress writer that was actually important. Had we not gotten that, I might not have done what I did. I got overtime approved pronto to take care of this request, so I did work Thanksgiving. As I was doing that, I kept printing and printing. I used up every sheet of paper in our 14-story building.
Oh my God.
I kept on researching the response for the congressional, printing, going to the next floor to carefully get that packet of paper to tuck under the appropriate page, etc. I had paper in about 20 different conference rooms. I could have done the congressional in about 8 hours, but it was not due until Monday. And all of this printing took me a good 24 hours of work. So I put in for 32. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I got it done. This is now 2 stacks of paper. It's about 6 feet high. I was way under my estimate of 10,000 pages, as it was almost 30,000 pages.
Bro, 2 6-foot stacks of paper?
That's insane.
That's literally us.
Sam, you know we talk about a lot of really hard situations on this podcast.
Oh, baby, the hardest.
And you know, Sam, that's not the only thing that we need hard in this world.
Fellas, if you're trying to play a little game of hide the zucchini and you want that zucchini to be nice, firm, and strong, I think you're going to want to hear about our next sponsor.
We are working with Blue Chew, ladies and gentlemen. Blue Chew tablets. It is the best option to get your wiener stiff.
And you might be like, oh, I don't need it. But hey, you never know until you try. You could already be Arnold Schwarzenegger, but what if you were Superman? What if you were Tom Brady throwing spirals every freaking day in the bedroom?
That's right, guys. Blue Chew wants you to have better sex.
And I do too, personally.
We want your dongs rock hard. Discover all your options at bluechew.com. Just chew it and do it, baby.
And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code OKOP at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. I'm saying like free, like actually free. That's bluechew.com. Promo code OKOP to receive your first month free.
Come on.
Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And I just want to thank Blue Chew one more time for sponsoring this podcast and making the hard things hard and our life easy.
Oh, yes. Back to the episode.
Remember, I had at least 5 printers going all at once, nonstop, 4 days. I put this in my boss's office, which was already none too clean and pristine. I got written up with a disciplinary hearing and everything. What the heck? My boy's just doing his job.
Literally.
The charge was malicious compliance. Bro, you asked for this. So literally, you're being compliant and being punished for it. How is that okay?
Hey, Sam, you're going the speed limit. You're under arrest.
Under arrest.
You are sentenced
You're being
to
put
death.
straight to jail. I kept my job only because I did have a request in an email. So OP had receipts. Let us know, is OP the a-hole? Is the boss the a-hole? We want to know what you think. Also, have you ever been maliciously compliant in your own job,
Oh.
government or otherwise? But
Yes.
John, John, please, what do you think?
Dude, I love it. I absolutely love it. Like, honestly, though, OP, you're going way too hard for, like, I don't know. For me, I would be like, screw it. Like, email a supervisor and be like, this person wants me to print 10,000 stacks of paper. And then the actual important thing, like the congressional thing came through. I'd just be like, hey, everyone, I'm going to work on this thing that actually matters instead of making 2 6-foot piles of paper for
also,
32 hours.
Like, maybe just not waste your entire Thanksgiving holiday on this dumb request.
I think it's too much, but you know what?
I think OP is being the a-hole to themselves, honestly.
OP, you need to be kind to yourself,
Please,
okay?
please take care of yourself.
Little self-love will do you well.
But I would love to see a picture of those 2 stacks.
Oh my God. Oh, that would be
stacks.
delicious.
My husband exploded on me because he thought I baby trapped him. Now I found out the real reason he got upset, and I think I might divorce him.
My husband, male 35, and I, female 32, have been married for just 7 years. He left next door. We just clicked. It was a fairy tale, like Shrek. One thing I've always thought made our marriage so strong was our friendship with each other and our trust in one another. Although now my husband seems to think otherwise. Recently, my husband found out that his friend Geoff, male 34, has been baby trapped. Basically, Geoff's wife, female 32, stopped taking the pill and fell pregnant a few months into their relationship and only came clean after the wedding. That's why boys, don't trust that they're on the pill. At least pull out.
Spill your seed where it don't bleed.
That is great advice.
Come on.
John doesn't miss. Geoff came from a very conservative family, which his wife knew, and so he felt obligated to marry her after the pregnancy. Unfortunately, he also feels obligated to stay regardless of the clearly messed up dynamic because he feels he has made a vow and will stick by his wife and child. I gotta give it up for Geoff, though.
No, you're an idiot. Just leave.
But what about the sanctity of marriage?
The sanctity of marriage.
Yeah, Geoff, I don't know if this is a good relationship.
You know it's Jeff, right?
No, I'm gonna keep.
I know. I just wanted to make sure you knew.
It's spelled Geoff. And what world is that pronounced the same as Jeff? My husband, for some reason, has been really rattled by this. I am currently 4 months pregnant with our first, and my husband asked me yesterday if I was trying to baby trap him.
Too much, bro. Cool your jets, buddy.
Chill.
I first laughed because I honestly thought it was a joke, but he was dead serious, and he doubled down. So I told him that we have already been married for 7 years, and a baby was not going to trap him any more than he already was. My husband did not like that answer and said there was no time limit on baby trapping and that my intentions were clearly not pure given how I was acting as if his concerns were a joke.
Oh, vomit.
He said he had trusted me in the past, but me laughing in his face gave him no reason to trust him now. There was more to the story, but what do you think so far about Geoff's reaction?
I hate this guy. Like, is this Geoff or was the friend Geoff?
Sorry, the friend's Geoff.
Friend was Geoff, yeah. And then OP's man. Yeah, I think he's an absolute idiot. I think all of the men are idiots. Geoff, leave. Just stop. All the men in the story, just stop.
It gets worse.
Of
Today
course it
I
does.
woke up and my husband was gone, but I didn't have a nasty text from his brother, male 28, saying that I forced my husband into this pregnancy despite it having been a joint decision.
Oh my
I love how
God.
probably what happened. It was like, hey, like, babe, do you want to have a kid? And he was like, all right, let's do it. And then he's like, wait,
How dare you? How dare you do the thing I told you to do?
My husband is MIA and has not responded to calls or texts. And now I'm wondering how on earth to go forward. Any advice? What advice would you guys give her? But there are some commenters that said some stuff. So they said either the husband was panicking about fatherhood and looking for a way that would let him save face, or the husband has started an affair with someone else and again was looking for a way to end things without looking like the bad guy. Again, he could also just be super insecure.
Or maybe he's a fucking idiot.
There is an update though.
Oh.
Not sure if I'm allowed to post here again, but I wanted to quickly... You're not allowed, no. I wanted to quickly update everyone who was kind enough to give me some advice. I didn't respond anyone because my post was locked quite quickly, but I have read every single comment and message. I realized while I was reading the comments that everyone was right. Oh, Reddit, give me the best advice.
Come on.
I realized I wasn't angry enough.
Let's.
My husband had insulted me and our marriage in a very hurtful way, and it just didn't really register for a while.
Absolutely.
I was so confused and upset that it didn't occur to me to be angry, but Reddit made me realize I should be pissed as
Yes.
Reddit.
Stir the rage. Stoke the anger. Stoke it.
I love Reddit, bro. In the meantime, I called my best friend, female 31, who had been such a rock in my life. She came over with some chocolate classic and was furious when she heard. She's like, girl, don't accept that shit. She called her husband, male 34, into the house after I had gotten everything out of my system. He is a family lawyer and said that he would happily represent me if I wanted to go through with divorce.
Oh, wow.
Damn, son.
We're escalating.
Okay, well, he could just be insecure. Let's all right. I know Reddit is just like instantly
Divorce. Literally always.
And hey, we're the first ones to say the divorce chance really fun to do.
Yeah.
Divorce.
So fun.
We love saying it.
Yeah.
But you're going pretty hard in the paint right here.
Or maybe we just hear me out. Okay.
All right, I'm hearing you out,
We
John.
skip divorce straight to murder.
This man is a saint, and I will draw up the divorce papers on Monday. This all feels a little fast. I mean, do you have proof that he actually cheated? Like, this is a lot of suspicion. My mother-in-law, female 66, showed up with my husband in the car not long after my best friend's husband arrived, and she practically dragged him to the door. My mother-in-law said that he showed up at theirs late last night, saying that he was certain that I was using the baby to trap him. Fortunately, my mother-in-law is a smart woman and absolutely tore him a new one before dragging him to my house to apologize.
That's fire.
My worm of husband did not look me in the eye the entire time, but said that he was scared about becoming a dad and projected his fears onto me. He said that he wasn't sure if he was ready for that kind of commitment, but he will step up as if he is some kind of hero. Eye roll. I called him a coward and told him that he should stay with his parents until I'm ready to talk about him. I didn't want to say anything about the divorce papers because I didn't know what his reaction would be, but he will find out soon enough. You know,
Yeah.
the divorce feels like a little
I
bit
know
much.
it does feel a little rushed. I do agree with you.
A lot
there.
of people have
Do agree
cold
with you
feet
there.
when they're having kids. Like that's a common thing. And it's a common thing with marriages too.
Yeah, I mean, look, the husband like has a lot of making up to do, but I think
course.
it's like if this is a relationship worth say 7 years, who also will be the father of your child, like it. Not that the kid thing should make them stay together, but worth sitting down and unpacking.
Yeah,
I think at a minimum.
I don't know. Like I think there's a lot of times where partners feel insecure in a relationship.
Yeah, totally.
And it should at least be talked about.
Yeah.
But damn, Reddit just goes for divorce every single time.
Yeah, and she's eating it up.
She's eating it up. I also showed my mother-in-law the text from my brother-in-law, and her face was like a storm cloud. I don't know what will happen here, but I'm sure it will be bad. For now, I am exhausted and just want to curl up and cry. My best friend said she'll spend the night with me and we can watch silly movies. I've also made an appointment with the therapist for the next week, but for now, I just need to rest. I am exhausted and devastated that my marriage has come crumbling down. Sorry for the sad ending. Wow. We want to know what you think. Put in the comments below. Divorce?
Divorce? Question mark?
Instant divorce?
Yes or no divorce?
But John, let me know what you think. Well, I guess first question, do you think OP should get divorced?
Not yet. And also, we don't know the exact timeline here as well. Is this days? Is this months? Like, I don't know. Sounds like it was maybe
Quick.
weeks.
Sounds like it was quick.
Yeah, like it feels pretty quick, at least in the decision timeline. Maybe there was like gaps between like the major events and decisions, but I would definitely sit down and maybe say to him something like, this is the type of thing that like
Cannot happen again.
And like ruins relationships. You know what I mean? Like this is like making me not want to continue with this relationship, but I'm like sitting down and like trying to like understand.
Yeah.
You know,
and also just like, you know, I've been cheated on in the past in my first relationship, and like that sucked. And especially because it was my first relationship, it was traumatic. And it's still baggage that I have with me today that makes me like a little like just like not trusting.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's always been fine, but I just like say like, hey, like I just talk to my partner and say, like, I don't accuse them of cheating, I just say like, hey, like this makes me uncomfortable. Let's talk about
Sam,
it.
are you a real Redditor? You're telling me you don't out the gate with zero proof, jump straight to cheating?
I know. I think he definitely made a mistake, but I just don't think divorce, like the immediate divorce maybe is.
Totally. I told my pregnant daughter, I don't care about you right now. Am I the a-hole?
Get those problems away from me. You're infecting my vibe.
Get out of my face. My vibes are infected. So I, female 49, have 2 kids. Christina, female 26, and Dwight, male 16. Dwight is neurodivergent and needs my attention and my husband's all the time since there's lots of things that he can't do by himself. I am his primary caregiver. Christina got married and is now pregnant, and I'm happy for her, but the problem is she wants my attention all the time. She knows that I have to take care of her brother, but still calls me up all the time and asks me to go with her to appointments and whatnot. I told her several times that I can't unless it's an emergency, since Dwight gets severe anxiety in hospitals and I can't leave him alone. She still gets upset because she thinks I can just leave him with a nurse for a couple hours.
The fact that the mother can't step away for a second to be with the daughter through the birth, red flag. I say divorce the mom.
I think the pregnancy hormones might be affecting her too much, and she wants to fight for her mom's attention.
Your daughter just wants you to be there through her birth. Jesus.
It would be okay if it wasn't, because her brother needs special care. She's going to give birth soon, and she asked me to go stay at her house for a bit before the birth and some weeks after the baby's born. I told her I can't do that. I would need to take Dwight with me, and she won't be able to relax with him there, since he can be a bit of a troublemaker sometimes. She told me to leave him with his dad and nurse.
There's a dad and a nurse there. Come on.
I told her that she needs to understand that my priority is taking care of my son now, and I have to be there for him. She argued that she's my daughter too, and she needs me since she has no one else. I told her that's a lie because she has her husband. And I also said that maybe when her kid is born, she'll understand that as a mom, your first priority are your kids, and even more if they are special needs and need you all the time. Now that she's an adult, she doesn't need me, and she's not my priority. She cried and insulted me, and she said that she'll never be able to forget that I chose her brother over her, and during such a hard moment for her. Am I the a-hole? This is an interesting one to me. I'm very curious, everyone, to hear what you think in the comments below. What you would do. Sam?
What it sounds like to me is that ever since the kid was born, the daughter has taken a backseat.
Right.
Like, it sounds like she hasn't really had her mother there. And the fact that the mom can't even take a moment to be there with the daughter through a pregnancy,
Yeah.
it's going to ruin your relationship with your daughter.
I think one thing that would be very helpful to know in this scenario is a more detailed understanding of what the care looks like, because it's like we know the son is neurodivergent, where on the spectrum, etc. You know, what all does that entail?
Well, regardless, let's say it's
you're fair.
It's some of like let's say it's like really like he needs a lot of care. That mother is saying that she literally cannot be there for the birth of her child or for like some appointments to like she cannot be a mother to her at all.
Basically, period. Yeah.
Like, come on.
I am more on her side than I think you are in this scenario. But yeah, definitely, it's like there are these key moments, like going to the first ultrasound for your first child happens one time.
I would love to know what our
maybe
audience
Sam's wrong
thinks.
and I'm brilliant and right.
So maybe I'm completely wrong.
Yeah, drop your comments, ladies and gentlemen.
Want to send me home for being 1 minute late? Fine, I won't work. And I don't think any of my friends will work either. This happened about 4 years ago. I do construction and we start fairly early. Boss got tired of people walking in at 6:05 or 6:03.
Oh my God.
When we start at 6 a.m., even though he was a few minutes late, more consistently than any of us were. So he said, if you aren't standing in front of me at 6 o'clock when we start, then I'm docking 15 minutes of your time for the day.
Why?
Because he's the boss. The next day, I accidentally forgot my tape measure in my car and had to walk back across the job site to grab it. Made it inside at 6 o'clock.
Nice.
Boss chewed me out and told me he was serious yesterday and docked me 15 minutes. So I took all of my tools off right there and sat down on a bucket. He asked me why I wasn't going to work. And I said, if I'm not getting paid until 6:15, I'm not working until 6:15. I enjoy what I do, but I don't do it for free.
Come on now.
He tried to argue with me about it until I said, if you're telling me to work without paying me, then that's against the law. Go imprison that boss.
Yeah, that's right.
You really want to open your company and yourself up to that kind of risk? Maybe I'm the kind to sue. Maybe I'm not. But if you keep on telling me to work after you dock my time, then we're going to find out one way or the other.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, OP is like really putting some threats down. He shut up pretty quickly after that, and everyone else saw me do it and him cave. So now they weren't going to take his crap either. Over the next few days, guys that would have been 1 or 2 minutes late just texted the boss, hey, sorry, boss. would have been there at 6:02 and gotten docked. So I'll see you at 6:15 and I'll get to work then. And then sat in their cars until 6:15 and came in when their time started.
Love it.
So between people doing what I did or just staying in their cars instead, he lost a ton of productivity and morale because he decided that losing 15 minutes of productivity per person and feeling like the big man was better than losing literally 1 or 2 minutes of productivity. Even though everyone stands around BSing and getting material together for the day until about 6:10 anyway. After a few weeks of that, he got chewed out by his boss over the loss of productivity and how bad the doc timesheets were looking and reflecting poorly on him as a leader because we were missing deadlines over it. And it showed that he doesn't know how to manage people.
Facts.
And then suddenly his little self-implemented policy was gone and we all worked like we were supposed to and caught back up fairly quickly. Worker solidarity for the win.
Let's freaking go.
I love that like you can just band together with your fellow workers and see the change you want to see in the world.
It's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
OP, you are a inspiration.
I'm actually wondering if there's anyone out there that maybe thinks that OP was the a-hole.
We love controversial opinions on this show.
Customer explodes because the coffee was too hot and got me fired, but there's something huge the customer doesn't know.
Sounds like OP's in some hot water or maybe some
goodness.
hot coffee. Hey, yo.
I am a high schooler with a weekend job at a coffee shop. My coworkers who work the weekends are James, the owner's son, goes to my school. He's a shift manager, but not the real formal thing. He's a friendly guy. Danielle, a college student who sometimes works weekends too. So sometimes customers will come in and just be angry about such little itsy-weensy tiny things, like literally blow up about nothing.
Fun.
You know, we just love people who are angry for no reason.
That's half of Reddit.
I don't know if they're in a bad mood already and looking for someone to take it out on or what, but it's a lot. Like, how sad do you have to be a grown ass man taking your anger out on a high schooler and college kids?
Honestly, so true.
Kind of facts. So James and I were joking about having a little fun with them and hopefully getting them off of our backs. So one day I was at work and some guy had a temper about how we didn't make the coffee hot enough.
Get heated, bro. Maybe that will translate to your coffee.
Which I couldn't do a thing about because I gave it to him right out of the machine. So James came in and it was like, "Sir, is there a problem here?" And the guy started ranting and raving at him too.
Yes, there is a problem. This coffee is not hot enough.
So my friend James was like, "OP, this is unacceptable. You're fired." I started acting real sad, like, "Please, no, don't fire me. My family needs this money. I need this job, please." The angry guy started to backtrack. Like, "Oh, it wasn't that big of a problem. You don't need to fire him over. I didn't mean it."
No,
Bro, what did you mean?
must be fired.
Excuse me, is it too hot or is it not hot enough? And then my friend James was like, "No, we pride ourselves on the best customer service." Of course, after all of that drama, I still had my job. We were just acting. And we've done it a couple of times. Whenever a customer will lose their temper at Danielle or I, James will storm in and fire us. Almost every time the person who came in angry will apologize.
So funny.
Say that they didn't mean it. Anyways, I was telling my friends from school about this. A few of them thought it was a mean prank to let someone go away thinking that they had gotten someone.
Well, maybe they would be nicer to service workers if they actually thought that.
All service workers, please do this immediately. This is a genius life hack.
Yeah, I mean, like, I actually don't. I would love to know what all of y'all think. Is OP the a-hole or not? But I think OP is not the a-hole, and is actually doing all service workers a huge solid
justice
by like humanizing them in the eyes of Karens and Kens everywhere. My professor is offering extra credit for anyone who will buy her multi-level marketing products. What can I do about this?
I think you go all in.
I think you join her. Join the pyramid scheme.
Yeah, genius.
I'm an undergraduate student at a school in Massachusetts, and I'm taking a creative writing class.
Idiot.
What are you doing? Writing? ChatGPT can already write for you. What are you doing? My professor is really weird / like a new age kind of professor. And at the beginning of every class, she puts out an essential oil diffuser saying, "Studies show that essential oils improve brain function."
Well, if studies show.
Studies show, which I think is just a giant lie. Plus, the smells give me a headache, so it's probably reducing OP's cognitive function. She then lets us know that if we really like the essential oils, that we could buy them from her, which I thought was weird, but whatever. But then it got real. When we had our
first essay due, and a lot of people, including me, got some really crap grades on them. I got a C-. But then the professor talked about how any student who purchases an order of $50 of her essential oils through her and doTERRA would get 20 bonus points added to that grade. Everyone looked pretty pissed and asked, is this legal? All right, so there's an update.
Okay.
So it turns out that I really didn't have to do anything because some of the other students beat me to it. I sent the department head an email, but they told me that they were already dealing with it. When I went to the next class session, the professor wasn't there, but instead it was the department head and one of the deans for students. This dean is a badass, awesome dean, by the way. All the students love this dean.
Yeah.
They wanted to talk to us about ethical misconduct allegations in the class, and we spilled the beans about the weird things she'd been doing with doTERRA stuff. After we complained for about 20 minutes straight, the dean said, I count about 5 reasons to fire this professor, and each one is enough of a reason alone to fire her.
Wow.
They thanked us and dismissed us from class and told us to keep an eye on our emails to know what will happen next. As I was packing my things, I overheard the dean talking to the head of the department. So she offered to increase grades if her students purchased an unrelated product that put money back into her pocket, is breaking a couple of laws, including the exposure to chemicals that might cause serious problems with disability compliance.
Oh my God.
Currently, the class is an average of a D+ in the course because she wanted people to buy her freaking
Literally,
things.
like, but give everyone it's an evil genius plan a little bit.
Yeah. It broke the school's ethics rules, and it is also using the college's printing studio meant for printing out reading for students to print out doTERRA pamphlets.
I love it.
Yo,
come
entrepreneur
on.
vibes.
Yeah, literally.
The dean looked a little exasperated at this point and was really trying to keep this down, I think. Anyways, the class was canceled for a week, and then we got one of the senior professors to cover for the class. All the previous grades we got with the crazy professor were removed, and we've been doing just easy assignments, and the class is super easy now. For the most part, it seems like they're just giving us A's for completion of the assignments, so this is looking to be like the easiest A that I'm ever going to get.
Wow. Man. Cool, happy ending, though.
There is a little bit of an update.
Oh, okay.
I heard through the grapevine the professor got fired and also lost a teaching fellowship grant or something. One of my friends in the class told me that the doTERRA professor was fired in the department's head office and stormed out of the office. But before she stormed out, she dumped hundreds of her doTERRA pamphlets from her bag onto the office's floor, along with a few testing samples of the oils, one of which shattered and spread peppermint oils over the office. My friend apparently helped them clean up the mess since they came for office hours. I can confirm the office still smells like peppermint.
Wow. Wow. How wild.
What a terrible professor.
Terrible professor, bro.
I can't imagine. Boss Babe era, though. Boss Babe era.
Oh, for sure.
That's all I gotta say.
That's all you gotta say. My white racist aunt just gave birth to a biracial baby, and now they want to get rid of the baby.
That's
I, 18 female, am adopted. My aunt and uncle have made comments about this in the past, how I'm not really in the family or whatever. It doesn't really bother me anymore because I barely see them apart from family reunions and stuff. They're also homophobic, racist, and every kind of ist you can think of. They couldn't get pregnant for various reasons, including the fact that my aunt is pushing 40.
good.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know if I want you raising a baby. Anyways, they spent a bunch of money on fertility treatments before eventually using an egg donor. Also, I had just gotten a hysterectomy at the time for medical reasons, and my aunt made some weird comment to my mom about how I was wasting my purpose as a woman and how I could have been a surrogate for them. They also said that they didn't want to adopt. They wanted their own kids and didn't want an abandoned problem kid.
Why are they saying all this out loud? Keep it to yourself. Have the understanding that you might get a lot of for coming out and saying these terrible things.
But Sam, some news. The baby was born, and to the shock and horror and surprise of my aunt and uncle, the baby is brown.
Wait. Their baby?
Their baby. Isn't that right?
How? And they're racist.
And they're racist. If you recall a little bit ago, they ended up going with a donor.
But don't they screen the don't?
One would think. Apparently, the egg donor wrote Caucasian as the ethnicity, but had a Guyanese grandmother.
Maybe they'll be less racist after having a darker baby.
One can hope.
My hopes and dreams are always squashed on these Reddit stories, so it's probably not going
Sam,
to
have
happen.
a little faith. So they had the baby with them at the family reunion, and my aunt in particular looked tired and upset. I couldn't resist making a comment to my mom within earshot of them that if they'd adopted, they could have picked a nice white baby and maybe mistook the IVF clinic for a Build-A-Bear workshop. Whoa.
Savage OP.
That's a bit, yeah,
We
my
love it.
goodness. I heard they might be trying to sue the clinic.
Excuse me, my baby came out darker than I was expecting.
My aunt got really upset and started crying, and my uncle turned red and yelled at me about how I have no right to talk about their private life, that I was a bish, and all of this other crap. Then they left. My mom thought my comments were funny, but says I should apologize to keep the peace.
I think they're funny.
Me too. And my dad says that they needed to hear the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
I think I might be the a-hole because it's kind of unfair to the baby to bring her into it. So am I the a-hole? There is a quick update. As of now, how are we feeling, everybody? How are we feeling, Sam?
Well, put your answers of what you think
Yeah.
is OP the a-hole. I guess I see where OP's coming from, where it's like, oh, I might be the a-hole for kind of insulting almost like the baby.
yeah.
And,
The
like,
Build-A-Bear, I was like,
Yeah, it's like it feels almost insulting to the baby, but not quite. I mean,
Yeah.
like really, what OP's using is like they're using
Their own-
sarcasm.
Yeah.
right.
yeah.
It's like, oh, I didn't
And their own
realize it was a
prejudice
bill.
like against them, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's like OP's almost taking on this idea of being super prejudiced. So it's like almost ironic. And I think maybe that irony and that joking is actually helping this couple see how terrible they've been.
So update, to clarify some things. One, I am Chinese. However, even if I had been white, my comment would still not have been racist. Racist means to show prejudice or discrimination to one race because of their race. I don't think anyone would argue that white people are a oppressed minority. One, as for the racist stuff they've said, they were hardcore Trump supporters during both the 2016 and 2020 elections and have called my mixed-raced friend a half-breed.
That's
This is unfair for the baby. I do feel sorry for her. I regret bringing an innocent baby into this. I hope my aunt and uncle learn from this and maybe become less prejudiced.
yeah. This aunt and uncle sound awful.
I feel so bad for this baby.
Yeah.
Like, even if the aunt and uncle do become more progressive because of this, or like
Let's
not
hope. That's what we
racist,
can
really,
only hope.
it's probably still at the expense of the baby. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, they probably are going to like fumble like so many things in the process to get there. So
Yeah,
Going.
I just feel like OP has been really shat on by this couple, and
is
this-
trying to show them.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, maybe not in the most empathetic
in
way.
the smoothest style.
yeah,
but
no, but
yeah.
trial by
But it's
fire.
I mean, they
It's
they
something.
need to know like what time it is.
yeah,
These
time
this aunt and uncle.
for some education.
Yup. I scared my girlfriend's family by attacking them, but it was just a prank. Now she's trying to leave me, but I'll show her what a nice guy I am.
Yeah, I'm super nice. I just
Yeah.
murdered your entire family.
This past weekend was the big camping trip that my girlfriend would be taking with her and her family. It would consist of her, her parents, her younger sister, aunt and uncle, 3 cousins. It was a big family trip that was being planned once we had cooler weather.
That's kind of cool. I like big family trips. I like
think,
the idea
I think
of
it's
that.
a good idea.
Yeah.
It's also much easier to murder all of them at once. So I visited my girlfriend's house to say goodbye to her and wish her a fun trip when they all took off in their cars. Then I got into my car and drove to the campsite that they would be staying at. I know the area pretty well, and I was able to find a spot to hide my car from view, and I was able to navigate the woods and keep an eye on them while remaining hidden from view.
Wait, so he's stalking her entire family?
How else do you attack them, Sam?
OP, I'm beginning to not be on your side.
When it came nighttime, I put on a Chewbacca costume and ruffled it up a little bit to make it look wild and untamed.
What
Can you
is
see where
wrong with you, bro?
Can you see where this is going? While the family was gathered around the campfire, I started to rustle the bushes. The family noticed but didn't think much of it. Then I started to make growling noises. The family was getting noticeably freaked out, and then my girlfriend's uncle started walking towards where I was hiding.
What if they have a gun?
We're gonna have to find out. As soon as he got close enough, I jumped out from behind the bushes and started making roaring noises while running around acting like Bigfoot. I shook their tents, threw their lawn chairs around, and chased after some of the cousins.
That's pretty funny.
My goodness. Usually, like, it's like you probably like, ah, and they're like, ah, and you're like,
No, you have to,
hey,
you have to stay
it's
in
me.
character.
But then I heard my girlfriend's dad yell, "Get the gun!"
I knew it was going to happen. I
Good
knew
call,
guns
bro.
would be involved.
You called it, dude. And that's when I knew I had to end the prank. I took off the costume, revealed myself, and the entire family was pissed. Long story short, I got yelled at by almost all of her family.
How did you think it was going to go? Like,
How was this supposed to end?
Yeah, like
Truly.
it was like, oh, that was so funny. You know what? I really want you to marry my daughter.
And all of the noise attracted the campsite manager who kicked me out after hearing what happened. Honestly, justifiable.
Deserved.
Yeah. Today, I heard back from my girlfriend for the first time since the prank, and she said that she is seriously considering breaking up with me.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I think you kind of deserve it.
She said that she just needs some time to think and that she'll let me know when she's made her decision. Now I'm just left wondering what to do. I'm thinking I need to pull off a major apology and I need some advice on what to say to save this relationship. Sam, we have an update. Everyone also in the comments, what would you advise?
I don't think someone like this knows how to situations. I think they only know how to increasingly up their life. And so I'm going, his life is going to get more up for 200.
Okay. On to the update. Last night, my girlfriend's family was holding a barbecue in their backyard, and my girlfriend was able to talk her dad into inviting me. He was originally...
The whole family is like, this
Yeah,
guy.
we hate this kid. He was originally against the idea of me coming, but he was willing to let me come so long as the first thing I do is offer a genuine apology for the prank that I pulled on all of them. I arrived in their backyard, and everybody that I pranked at the campsite was sitting at the table, and they were all clearly waiting for me to arrive. Oh man, so everyone's like just sitting there just like, okay.
We're ready for our apology.
I sat down next to my girlfriend and I began my apology. I stated that my prank was ill-timed, immature, and thoughtless, and I apologized for ruining their camping trip that they had apparently been planning for some time. I tried to make it as genuine and sincere as possible, and when I was done, I waited for some type of response. There was a really long, awkward silence as the whole family just stared at me. Then the uncle whispered something into the dad's ear, and they both burst out laughing, but I couldn't make out what he said. Then the dad said that he didn't accept my apology and he told me to leave. My initial response was very loud, "What the F?" And that made things worse. I can imagine. My girlfriend's dad kept telling me to leave and I lost my temper. I swiped an empty plastic cup off the table and said to the family, "Fine, F all of you," while flipping them off with both middle fingers.
Okay, it's very like you see what just happened here though, right? The uncle is trying to put a prank on OP for sure.
Bro,
For sure.
you're right.
And he failed the test.
Dude, I never thought of that. I think you're right. As I was leaving the backyard, my girlfriend caught up to me and said that she was breaking up with me.
Low-key, OP sounds terrible. I wouldn't date him.
Absolutely not, bro.
John and I will not date you.
She said that I was too immature and impulsive, and she said that she wants me to leave her and her family alone. I tried apologizing to her profusely. I kept saying, "Babe, I'm so sorry. Just give me another chance, I promise. I'll be good, I promise."
I promise I won't put on the Chewbacca costume in the bedroom anymore, babe. And unless, like, you're into it.
You know you want this, Chewbacca. I just kept saying over and over, and she'd say that she's given me, quote, millions of chances and that she, quote, can't fix me. She then walked off, and I did something that made things even worse.
Why, OP? Bro.
I yelled at her, calling her a bish, and then I started kicking and punching the wooden fence that separates their front and backyard. I knocked down the part of the fence, and then I left. So,
Wow.
there we have it. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you're so conflicted here. I know this is, oh man, this is right on the line. But guys, you got to let us know if Chewbacca is the a-hole or not. Like, I mean,
please. I mean,
what do we think?
Personally, man just digs himself a deeper and deeper hole.
Bro.
I think his girlfriend is completely in the right.
Yes.
For dropping that like tub of hair. And also I think he was being put like, there was a prank being pulled on him.
Yeah,
and
I
he
think
just
you're right.
reacted
It's a great
terribly.
theory.
And then
Yeah.
people are like, oh, okay, maybe we actually should not let this kid in our home. He seems like he has anger issues
1,000%.
and prank issues.
My girlfriend embarrassed me in front of my boys by not helping our sinking boat. Should I end it?
If the boat sunk, the relationship is also going to sink.
So I have what I think is a very good sense of situational awareness.
Oh, a Redditor with situational awareness.
Whoa.
How rare.
We got a badass over here.
Hey, yo.
I'm a quick thinker and I tend not to panic in dangerous situations. My fiance, on the other hand, is the exact opposite. If I'm being nice, I would say she doesn't have any awareness of danger.
My fiance's a dumb bitch.
If I'm being honest, I would say that she has the survival instinct of a panda raised in captivity.
Who do I want taking care of my children in the future? This soft panda bitch.
She had no sense of danger around her, doesn't constantly examine her surroundings for things that
so
could
you
be
need to
dangerous.
constantly examine your surroundings for threats. Who's there? Who's there?
Listen, a sniper could take their heads out at any second.
It could. It could. Anything could happen.
He brings his X-ray goggles with him, but she doesn't.
Bring the bulletproof vest. I mean, if you're living in America, maybe. If you're living in America next to a school, they might need some situational awareness.
And when things go bad, her reaction is to panic and scream.
Come on, grow up.
So on Friday, we went out on the boat of a friend of mine and we got into a dangerous situation. We were anticipating light rain, but we ended up with a downpour, high winds, and high waves. While me and the other men there were
Manly man, we know how to tie knots and steer a ship.
we were trying to strap things down and keep the boat from capsizing. But my fiance screamed and cried for dear life. She was in hysterics.
Come on, panda.
Pull your own
Pull your together. Here's some bamboo.
Yeah, chew on this. And look, I get it was a scary situation, but her yelling and screaming, we're all gonna die, and for God to save us, and literally crying and saying it's my fault that she's on a boat since I asked her to come with. None of the other girlfriends or wives were doing this, just her.
No.
I'm sure the other women there were just as scared, but tried to keep it in for the sake of the men doing something about it. Oh God, he literally wrote that. Oh man, my boy is old school.
Old school.
Yeah.
In other words, misogynistic.
The downpour was really bad for about 15 minutes. So 15 minutes of wailing while we were doing everything we could to keep things all right. We made it back safe with little more damage than a few spilled White Claws. Excuse me, sir? That is
Precious cargo.
precious. Now, on the car ride home, I told my fiance that we needed to talk about how she was behaving during the crisis.
Like a freaking panda.
You need to act like Amanda, not a panda. Not only was it incredibly embarrassing in front of my boys.
Boys, how could you embarrass me in front of the boys? We were just smashing back White Claws.
Come on, we were just crushing White Claws, strapping down like fucking men. But Sam, not only was it incredibly embarrassing in front of the boys, but it was distracting, unhelpful, and telling.
Telling of what?
Telling that you're a little wimp ass panda. Yeah. I told her that today proved to me that if I was in a life or death situation, I could not rely on her to be any help or do anything except make things more stressful.
I love how OP's constantly thinking
What
like
is
life and
this?
death.
This is too much, bro.
Something though that I think is true is often like when someone is freaking out, their partner will like kind of take the reins.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You know,
For sure.
You know,
Yeah,
if you can't have two people freaking out once.
This is true.
Yeah.
This
So
is true.
maybe if OP wasn't such a man, and just be like, "Wife, help me." Maybe she would have.
Yeah, that's right.
Muscled up.
Let your wife step up. Be a little spoon.
Yeah, you know what you should have
okay?
done? Nothing. So your wife
Yeah.
could prove herself.
Yeah, just sit there like the ship's just going.
Yeah.
She got unbelievably mad. She said that she thought she was going to die and had reason to freak out. I told her that all of us were scared, but none of us were as ridiculous as she was. We argued the entire ride home, and she is still pissed off at me. I think I was right to say this, especially as we're planning our lives together and raising a family, and I can't be the only level-headed one. So am I the a-hole? So there's a little bit of an edit, but Sam, everyone, gut check. How's Armanda making you feel?
Okay. This might be an unpopular take. I do think that like if you're in a situation that is stressful,
Yeah.
how your partner reacts is a good indicator
Yeah.
of like how they're gonna deal with stressful things in the future.
Yeah.
Because like a marriage is hard. If you can't deal with like stressful situations, then how are you gonna be able to deal with the hard things that come up within a marriage?
Yeah.
So I think OP's maybe taking a little overboard, but I do get where he's coming from, where he's like, hey, like this is gonna be, you know, my wife, future mother of my children. If she she can't handle the tough stuff, like, is she going to be able to handle the tough stuff that comes in our marriage?
Yeah, she did have a bit of like when she said, I wouldn't be dying if it wasn't for you, or whatever she said. I mean,
Yeah.
that was like a little bit. I mean, you know, people freak out and get scared and whatnot.
But I think like when someone freaks out, that's like, I feel like you don't determine your character in the good moments. You determine it in how you react in the bad moments.
Yeah, I kind of feel like, I don't know that it's like a deal breaker or like that kind of thing, but I definitely think that
It's information.
it's information, and like I feel like I would want and have someone who would, like, I don't know, I guess in a very dangerous scenario, I don't know, try to, I don't know, do something or
help. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's worth bringing up and saying like, hey, like, if this happens, if something scary happens against, I want you to be there helping me, rather than screaming.
Yeah. So edit. Oh my effing God. The women there did not help because they did not know how to help. The men there have been out together on the boat countless times before, so we all are experienced and know exactly what to do. It's so much more unsafe for them to be in our way attempting to help if they really don't know what they're doing. It's safer for everyone if they just hang on, keep calm until the issue is resolved. This has nothing to do with them being women. It has everything with them not knowing what to do. If another guy had been there and didn't know what to do, I'd tell him to sit his tight little booty down and let those of us who know what to do handle it.
I get what he's saying there. Yeah, I think he went a little overboard. I think this is just information, not a deal breaker. And if you're ever in a situation where you're like freaking out, you should just either try to remain calm so you're not distracting, or try to help if you can.
My random new teacher just told the class he's been in my house. I do not know what to do here. So this is high school, junior year, first day of class. The teacher walks in. It's an older, wrinkly guy with a stash. A little weird looking. His shirt is only tucked in on one side.
Fashion, bro.
Everyone's looking at this teacher and just getting the wrong vibe from this guy. Like, he's not at all there in the head.
He's old and wrinkly, ew.
He's got a maniac look in his eyes. He's creepy. I feel like that's probably a little harsh. At least.
Just from a look.
So he starts going through attendance, not looking up the whole time. Then he gets to my name. He starts to say it, and then he stops, looks up and scans the room and looks directly at me. Ah, Mr. OP, I'm glad you're here. How's the family? Is your little sister still playing the piano? Is that model ship still right on your dresser? And is your room still colored blue?
That is a lot of specific information. Are you my mom?
Blasting me in the class,
Yeah, bro.
At this point, I'm shocked and mortified. I just can't find the words to respond. This creeper has just described my family and the effing room I sleep in at night. Of course it is. It's been only, a week? Then he goes back to attendance. Panics were had that day. But anyway, the next day, I find out that old crazy guy is actually my uncle's best friend.
Okay, so he's not as creepy as we were made to believe, but
Right.
still weird to put it on blast.
And them and my dad decided to all pull a prank on me on my first day. The teacher wasn't so crazy looking the rest of the year. He shaved the pedo stash, which he grew specifically just for the prank, apparently.
Wow, that's commitment to a bit.
He started dressing better, stopped making his eye twitch, etc., etc. Now, I have to admit, it was a good prank, even if I was terrified of being murdered for a day or two.
Pretty solid prank and not like that bad.
What would you do if like a teacher randomly...
I would probably say, hey, that's kind of weird. Can you not describe my house to everyone? No, I'd be shocked. I would be shocked. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say shit, bro. I'm a
Yeah,
little,
especially-
little piss boy. You know, you live and you learn.
Yeah.